Hey everybody, this is going to be the first episode of The Blind Show. I am Richard, and with me here is probably my best friend from the D&D or tabletop role-playing world, Jesse. Introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Um, you have heard me on Knights of the Braille things, and sorry, my phone started talking to me and confused me. Um, you've heard me a lot of places, but yeah, I would have to agree. Richard is probably my best friend in the D&D world. Um, and we figured we always gab and we always talk about a million things together, so why not start a podcast where we gab to you?
Yeah, our goal here is to, just talk about things that, we enjoy and give you our perspective on it. I'm more of a reader, I think, than Jesse is. Not that he doesn't read, but he watches a lot more TV shows and movies than I do. So he's going to, give you a lot of those from his point of view. Is what we had discussed. But knowing
The
us,
thing
we're
is, I read a lot. Like, I usually try to read 100 books a year, but since the pandemic hit, like, I've been in a kind of reading slump. So it's not been as fruitful as it usually is. But my goal used to be like 2 books a week usually, but I haven't been able to hit that.
right now. I am at 80, I believe. So I'm working on it. But like I said, Jesse watches a lot more movies and TV shows than I do. I'm usually doing stuff on the computer, and I can't concentrate on like two different things. So that's just not my cup of tea. But as you can tell, Jesse's probably a lot smarter than me. That and he has two good ears, and I only have like one, so I can't have everything going in the ear at one time. But I'm Richard. I, as of this posting, am 38 years old. Have
Oh,
been
what's your ASL? Do you remember that?
American Sign Language. Oh yeah, yeah. Age, sex, location. God, that's
Yeah, that
old.
was. I know. That's what it made me think of, and I figured you'd get the reference.
Oh yes. Because I remember doing that stuff on it was ICQ was the messenger app that I
Yeah,
used.
I never did ICQ. I was always AIM was mine.
And I used that one too. I used to have like three or four up and going. There used to be this game called Acrophobia that I really enjoyed playing. It was kind of like a game and chat room at the same time. They give you like so many letters, and you have say 30 seconds or a minute to create a sentence with those letters. Like it will say A B C D E F, and you had 60 seconds to come up with a sentence for that.
And you could only use those letters.
Yes. Really, really fun game. Really addictive. I really enjoyed it a lot. Missed it, but it'd be definitely one of those things that's probably not accessible. Uh, but then again, back then I was not thinking about that because at the time I could see, so I
Right.
wasn't aware of that. And it's back on the old Windows. I can't remember if we had moved to 98 by then or if it was still on the 95 machine, but I think it was Windows 98, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
But, I'm, like I said, I'm not going to usually talk about movies here, but I did try to watch the new movie Dune on
I need to watch
HBO
that still.
Max.
I've
Um,
heard good things, but I know your opinion of it's a little different.
yeah, first of all, I haven't read the book series.
I have
Um,
the book. I haven't read it either.
I like stuff like that usually, but I just could not get into the movie. I watched it for 20 minutes, and knowing how long it was, I was not going to waste any more of my time. Um, wasn't that it wasn't good for probably somebody else who gets into that, but I just personally did not like it.
Hmm.
I think I saw the time frame and was thinking, oh, that's a long movie. Don't
Maybe
know.
I'll give my opinion on it next episode. Depending on what you
Hopefully so, and we hope to do this like every Monday or Tuesday, depending on the day. but I know tomorrow I may be kind of busy in the morning, so we're doing this today. The other movie that I've watched was Halloween Kills.
which we both saw.
Yes. Really, really loved it. Although it's, and I know Michael Myers. I've watched all of the movies. It's a hack and slash thing. That personally does not scare me as much as, it's really gory. I prefer more of a suspense kind of thriller horror movie as opposed to blood, guts, and gore. Which I know a lot of people enjoy. That's just not my personal horror preference. What about
A
you?
lot of I saw some people say they didn't like it. I didn't see why, but I really enjoyed it. I thought what worked for me was they've always kind of said Michael's this unstoppable killing machine, and kind of, he has from the first movie, the devil's eyes, like there's nothing going on there. He's kind of like a predator, like an animal, like there's nothing in his brain, he just kills. And I feel like that's what this movie really hit home with. Like, he is unstoppable. This is what you would think of, like a psychotic man just went on a tear and on a killing spree. So for me, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
And this all takes place on the same day as the Halloween movie from 2018.
Right.
Yeah.
Much like the first one and the second one of the original series were the same night.
Right. A lot of people didn't realize that, and I didn't realize it at first until I watched it again, and it clicked that, because I couldn't follow all of the first little bits of the movie,
Yeah.
the flashbacks, mostly because I was concentrating on the bucket of popcorn that I had, but once it clicked, it's like, okay, now those make sense, and he really is unstoppable, because if you'll remember from the first couple of movies, I think it may be in the second one, it's a druid circle that has brought the demon forth, and if you read into the books and into the lore of it, he is controlled by someone. I think that actually comes up in the Curse of Michael Myers.
Yeah, which is this sixth one, I believe.
I think so. I don't have that list in front of me,
Yeah, I think
but
it's sixth one.
it is the movie The Curse of Michael Myers, which
Mm.
I actually read the screenplay to over the weekend.
Was that interesting?
It really was. It got a little confusing with the int here, which of course means
Right.
interior.
Yeah,
you
that
know.
throws you off if you don't read.
Yeah.
Like the first time I read a screenplay, I'm like, what is that? But then I figured it out.
Right. But it was really interesting, and for somebody who can't see, it really helped make the picture in my
Right.
head.
Yeah.
Which in a lot of audio descriptions for movies, they don't always tell you exterior shot of the castle or something like that. Which that's one thing that I really like, is knowing that, hey, I'm looking at the castle from the outside.
There's actually been some things, I don't remember any specifics, but Katie's like, they didn't tell you this or they didn't tell you that. Like, it's little things, but it's like, why didn't they tell me this?
Yeah, to me, I'm more into the details and stuff. Now, granted, I don't want you to say, well, the castle has 32 brown bricks on the outside, and moss is growing up.
Some do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, that's a little too much.
Um,
But, so we both agreed that, Halloween Kills was good.
yep, I liked it.
I liked it because I love the series in and of itself.
Halloween's my favorite of the series. I would say.
It is of all of the horror movies. Halloween and Michael Myers is my favorite.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm a horror geek or horror nerd, but I would love to see Freddy versus Jason versus Michael Myers. I would personally love that.
I'm the horror nerd of our pair.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, he's into the paranormal stuff. But with that said, over the weekend I was watching the Georgia Florida game, and Georgia won, of course. And they advertised a movie that I kind of geeked out for, and it's coming out, I believe, either December 19th or 20th, towards Christmas, and it's going to be a Christmas present to myself, unless somebody wants to buy the tickets for me. Ghostbusters Afterlife.
That does look really good.
Well, I'm the Ghostbusters nerd of this
I mean,
group.
I like it. I'm kind of like with that, like I am Star Wars. Like I enjoy it, but it's not like my end all be all.
Yeah,
But it looks really cool.
for me, it's Ghostbusters, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of course, and
Yeah,
I love the Star Wars franchise. I don't like the newer stuff as much, but then again, I'm old school.
How about
But
that amazing Star Wars book you read a few months ago? Light of the Jedi.
that was actually, I think, the first or second book I got from Audible, and it was so good that I thought about canceling the Audible membership. And speaking of that, someone still owes
It was all
me
my
a
fault.
credit for that.
I do. Can you share credits?
Oh, yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
I will give you a credit then for that.
Plus the annual interest rate, which should bring it up to like 13 credits. So, yeah, wonderful.
I actually ended up enjoying that. Like, I want to see what happens in that story. I don't know why. Don't ask. It doesn't make any sense, but I want to know.
I will tell you, though, the second one is already out on Bard. And for those of you who don't know, Bard is the library service for those who are blind or visually impaired or have dyslexia, where you can sign up for a membership, get approved, and be able to download audiobooks from the Library
Well,
of
I am not
Congress.
wasting a credit then. Is it the regular recording or did they record it?
I would have to look back at the list to see. I think I may have actually downloaded it just so I could delete it. But of course,
Put it on my Audible wish list.
I would delete it. I would definitely not waste a credit on it.
No,
But-
I'm not.
But let's see. How about some reading? My personal tastes are like all over the place.
Mine too.
Let's see. Over the weekend, I read the Halloween, the first one. It's called like Scream or Trick or Treat. It's by Curtis Richards. It's about the first movie, and it digs a little bit more into the detail of the actual book. Of
get
the
that?
actual movie. Kindle.
Oh, okay. Was it good?
Yes, it was. I really enjoyed it. It didn't go into like the screenplay type, like The Curse of Michael
Yeah,
Myers
right,
was.
Yeah.
But you get a phone conversation with Dr. Loomis and his wife. It brings into some of the lore with Michael Myers, with the Druid Circle and all. Which is how I got to look for the other stuff, to where I personally don't think you can kill Michael Myers. I think you can kill the body of Michael. Yeah, but also remember from the sixth one, the curse, the baby that they were after. I think that was because Michael's body was breaking down. And they were looking for another body. Let's see, I read that, which was really, really good. And I also read, the screenplay that I mentioned. And I had talked to you earlier, been a few months back, about the Population Zero books.
Yeah, I
which
remember
is,
you bringing that up.
It's a post-apocalyptic thriller set. Well, the third one came out, and I kind of geeked out over it because the first two were so good. Now, the first one was better than the second one, but this third one I think was better than the other two by far, which, a lot of other people agreed with the reviews as well. It's a really easy read, though, Jesse. I finished it in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
So,
That's one of those things, like, you always want them to stick the ending of a series.
yeah, and Ryan, I think is his name. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but he really did. And he's got other series out there as well. Really, really good. Definitely for any of those of you who like stuff like that. It's not too gory or horror filled, but it's for me, it was extremely realistic. I could see something like this actually happening, which to me scares me more than
Right.
stuff like
Yeah.
Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. Because to me, one of the scariest books I ever read personally was Misery by Stephen King, because I could see something like that actually
Yeah, that's
happening.
pretty believable.
And that scares me. What about you though?
I read, let's see. I read all horror in October, which it's one of those things where like this year especially there's so many other things that I'm like I cannot wait till November because I want to read this or I want to watch this or whatever. But I read Suburban Gothic, which is a sequel. It's written by Brian Keene and Brian Smith. It's a sequel to two of they each have a book that kind of ties in with it. You can read it without it. It is very extreme though. I didn't read it yet, but it kind of reminds me of what that Pandemonium would be.
Ah, yeah, I've read that.
And I love Brian Keene stuff, but it was good. I enjoyed it. And I also read Alien Disclosure by Lon Strickler. Lon Strickler has a Phantoms and Monsters blog where he puts like different accounts and stuff like that, and this collected his some of his alien abduction UFO experiences. Like I really enjoyed that because my thing that scares me is aliens. Like aliens and anything demonic is what gets me. But the whole, alien visitation, alien abduction, stuff like that terrifies me. So even though it was supposedly true, or at least he's saying it's true because these people forwarded him or called him with these accounts,
Right.
it fit in for Halloween for me because that shit freaks me out.
So you would never go to Area 51 out in Las Vegas. I mean, not that it's there or anything, but
I wasn't going to storm Area 51 like those idiots on Facebook.
uh, speaking of that, I want to think. I read somewhere that 100 people showed up, or maybe 1,000
Yeah,
people. It was
something
really,
like, but
really low.
the thing on, like, the group on Facebook, though, was massive.
Yeah, it was over 1 million people, if I
Yeah.
remember
I
right.
would like to visit, um, why is the name eluding me?
I'm not.
Roswell. I'd like to visit Roswell.
Ah,
I think that would be cool.
so aliens scare you.
And
The little green men.
I think fellow DM Eric from the Knights of the Brow, I believe, was raised somewhere out there. I don't know actually in Roswell, but somewhere near there. I remember we talked about it once.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Aliens have never really scared me. Like I said, the more realistic stuff is
Mm.
what gets me. Um, but let's see. I know we're both into sports, but I mean, there's tons of stuff like that. But we
Steelers won, thankfully.
and you let me know that Dallas won because
Dallas
I
won.
kept forgetting to look. That's my personal team, and the Georgia Bulldogs won, which is a good thing. But like
Are
I
they
said,
good this year?
oh yeah, they're number one in the college football rankings right now.
Oh, okay.
So, which means they're not going to win the national championship if they
Those
go.
rankings are always weird to me.
Yeah, there's a monkey that they feed chili to, and as
Yeah.
soon as his stomach starts rumbling,
Well,
he craps in his
if
hand, and
if Penn State would have beaten I hate this, but the Ohio State, we would have probably been right up there in the rankings with you.
I'm not an Ohio State fan at all, but
I mean, I can't. I just can't stand the whole the. They're the only team that I can think of that has to add the to their name. It's annoying as shit to me.
well, they just are. But we gonna try to make this like an every week thing, but as you all know, of course, life does come up from time to time. We would love for you all to send us topics in to talk about for probably the two listeners that we'll have this first week. But
I'm
yeah,
Richard's mom.
yep. Hey, mama. But
The only other thing I want to bring up is real quick, but I watched Muppets Haunted Mansion on Disney Plus. That was really good. Like if anyone has kids or like the Muppets and want to watch something, Halloweenish, I thought it was a lot of fun. It's
I may
about
have
an
to
hour
check
long.
that out.
It was funny. Like the jokes were pretty funny in some of the parts.
Because I love the Muppet stuff.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
So I may try to check that out today. But as far as we can tell right now, we're going to talk about sports and you know book reviews, movie
Yeah.
reviews, TV shows. And who knows? Maybe every once in a while we may have an interview. Which if anybody wants to come on here, let us know. But we're going to try to keep them short, around 25, 30 minutes or so that we don't lose the 2 or 3 listeners that we have.
Well, it'd be pretty bad if we lost your mom.
I know. Wouldn't surprise me if she quit listening. I know her too well. But as far as that goes, hope you've all enjoyed the music by Adrian von Ziegler that's playing in the background. Hopefully it records it. I've been having a little trouble with the whole audio setup thing. But we shall see. If not, there will be music put behind it that I will add whenever I go to editing stuff. But I guess that's really for it for right now. Unless Jesse has anything else that he'd like to talk about.
Not really. Just a big. The next 2 months are going to be big for TV. You have Wheel of Time on Amazon on the 19th of this month. Next month you have The Witcher and Book of Boba Fett. So, going to be big on the TV world, I think.
There should be some good stuff on. Some good
Yeah, I'm
stuff
curious
coming
to check
out.
out The Wheel of Time. I never read the books, but I'm curious to check out the series.
You go right ahead. I tried. Couldn't get into the books. But then again, I couldn't get into the Game of Thrones either, so.
I read the first book, that was it.
I think I read 10 minutes of the first one. Like, no, this is stupid.
Oh, the prologue was awesome.
It was stupid. That's why Jesse's not going to be here next week because he disagrees with me. But anyway, I guess that's really it for this episode, and hope to get some feedback from you all, and we will talk with you all next week. You can get in contact with me at DaleJuniorFan83 at gmail.com. That's DaleJuniorFan 83 at gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at RichardBean83. So be sure to look me up. And Jesse, if you want to give your information, you can. If not, then we'll just close out the show.
My email is Jesse, JESSEB83 at Comcast.net. I'm on Twitter at TheJesseB83. The only reason I have a "the" there is because I got locked out of my old account because I forgot my damn password, and Twitter's reset password is stupid. And contact me on Twitter because I need to tweet more. My 2022 goal is to get back into tweeting because I was a tweeting machine for a while, and now I'm just one of those people that retweets things. So.
Yes, and he'll also tweet his Goodreads stuff.
Yeah, that's automatic. So.
Right, but thank you everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye bye.